Hello students, I am Suruchi Jain. I am your English language teacher and today I will explain you lesson number 1 from your textbook HoneyDew. The name of the chapter is The Best Christmas Present in the World. Before I start explaining this story, I would like to discuss gist of this story. The story, The Best Christmas Present in the World, has beautifully depicted the moral lesson. It conveys that war and fight only bring sadness all around the world. There are certainly other ways too to resolve the differences and problems. And one should always try to follow the path of peace for attaining happiness in the world. In this story, we will read that how the British soldiers and German soldiers don't want to fight on Christmas Day and want to solve their problems without fighting by playing a football match. Now, I will start explaining the story line by line and I will use both the languages Hindi and English for better understanding. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport, a roll-top desk. Now here the narrator is telling us that he spotted it. It is a roll-top desk. एक ऐसा desk, a desk with sliding covers. तो उसको वो junk shop में उसको दिखता है. Junk shop is कबाड़ की दुकान. So he spotted, the narrator saw a roll-top desk in a junk shop. The man said it was early 19th century and oak. The man, the owner of that junk shop, he told the narrator that the roll-top desk was, an old desk and it was, was of early 19th century and it was made of oak. I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in a bad condition, the roll top in several pieces, one leg clumsily mended, scorch marks all down one side. It was going for very little money. So here the narrator is telling us that he always wanted, a desk. But, that roll top desk, the one which he saw at the junk shop was in a worn out condition. वो बहुत ही बुरी condition में था. उस पर जलने के निशान भी थे and one of its legs, was clumsily mended. Clumsily mended मतलब वो बहुत बुरे ढंग, मतलब बुरे उसमें थी, condition में थी. But it was actually, a cheap one. उसको वो सस्ते में मिल रही थी, वो ज़्यादा महंगी नहीं थी. I thought I could restore it. Now here the narrator, thinks that he could repair it. It would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. I began work on it on Christmas Eve. So that was not a, normal evening. That was a very special evening. That day it was, Christmas, festival of Christmas. So he, brought that डेस्क टू इट्स वर्क रूम. जो उसका जो वर्क रूम था वो उसके गैरेज के पीछे था और वो अपना काम शुरू करता है रिपेयरिंग का क्रिसमस ईव वाले दिन. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. Now as you know, as I told you earlier that the roll top, that the top of that desk was, in a very bad condition. It was broken into pieces. तो वो उसको जो है वो निकाल लेता है ऊपर के उसके कवर को और उसके अंदर से जितने भी ड्रॉर्स होते हैं he started, pulling out the drawers. वो बाहर निकालना स्टार्ट कर देता है. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Veneer means a thin layer of decorative wood. यानी जो wooden जो ऊपर की जो उसकी परत होती है वो उसने जो वो सारी जगह से पहले ही निकली हुई थी. It looked like water damage to me. Both fire and water had clearly taken their toll on this desk. Taken their toll on means damage. अब क्योंकि वो लकड़ी जो थी ऊपर की जो डेकोरेटिव वुड थी वो फूल करके वो बाहर निकली हुई थी, वो जो नरेटर होता उसको लगता है कि दोनों फायर और वाटर दोनों की वजह से वो रोल टॉप डेस्क है वो खराब हो चुका था. द लास्ट ड्रॉर वॉज स्टक फास्ट. As pulled out all the drawers but he couldn't pull out the last one because it was fixed. वो फंसा हुआ था. I tried all I could ease it out gently. In the end, I used brute force, but he couldn't, pull out that last drawer. And, he applied intense force to take out the drawer. उसने अपनी पूरी ताकत लगा दी last वाला drawer निकालने के लिए. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath, a secret drawer. अब I struck it मतलब जो नरेटर था उसने हिट किया ज़ोर से अपनी फिस्ट यानी अपनी मुट्ठी से अपने हाथ से उसने ज़ोर से हिट किया नीचे एंड द ड्रॉर फ्लू ओपन और ड्रॉर एकदम से खुल जाता है अंदर वो देखता है देयर वाज hollow space below that drawer and there was a secret drawer beneath that drawer. There was something in there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. And what he saw in that place, that secret drawer, there was a tin box that was of black color. It was a small one. और वो उसको निकालता है. Sellotaped to the top of it was a piece of lined note paper and written on it in shaky handwriting. अब जब वो tin box है वो निकालता है उसके ऊपर वो देखता है a lined note paper was pasted on the top of that tin box और उसके ऊपर shaky handwriting means जिसने भी वो लिखा था his hands would have been shaking. तो उस पे ऊपर वो लिखा हुआ था Jim's last letter received January 25th 1915. तो वो लेटर कब का था जनवरी 25th जनवरी 1915. To be buried with me when the time comes. And it was these words were written on that lined note paper. The words were to be buried with me when the time comes. यानी ये जो लेटर है ये मेरे साथ ही जब मैं मरूं तो ये मेरे साथ ही बरी कर दिया जाए दबा दिया जाए. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box, but curiosity got the better of my scruples. Scruples means hesitance, यानी जो झिझक होती है ना, जो एक आइडियल एक मॉरल जो कंसिडरेशन होती है कि हमें किसी की भी चीज़ ऐसे बिना दूसरे की परमिशन से हमें नहीं निकालनी चाहिए या हमें किसी और का लेटर नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए. बट एक्चुअली द नरेटर वॉज टू क्यूरियस दैट ही डिड नॉट इवन थिंक ऑफ दैट मॉरल कंसिडरेशन. उसने सोचा ही नहीं एंड विदाउट एनी हेजिटेशन he took out that letter and read. It usually does. Inside the box there was an envelope. The address read Mrs. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. अब उसके जिस भी लेडी को वो जो एड्रेस्ड था वो लेटर, it was the letter the name which was written on that letter, it was Mrs. Jim McPherson. यानी वो Mrs. Jim McPherson के नाम वो लेटर था और उसका एड्रेस भी दिया हुआ था. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. अब वो किस डेट पर लिखा हुआ था? December 26, 1914. अब देखते हैं कि वो लेटर किसने किसको लिखा था. With this Part 1 has ended and now I'll start part 2. Now the relator is reading that letter. Dearest Connie, यानी वो जो लेडी थी ये जो मिसेस जिम मैकफर्सन उसके लिए लिखा हुआ था ये. Dearest Connie, I write to you in a much happier frame of mind because something wonderful has just happened and I must tell you about at once. Now the person that Jim was so happy to tell Connie. अभी देखते हैं आगे आपको पता चलेगा. Connie was his wife, Jim's wife. वो अब लिखता है कि मैं ये जो लेटर है वो बहुत खुश हूँ and I wanted to tell you something at once. He was so happy while writing this letter. We were all standing to in our trenches means a hiding place. एक गड्ढा जिसमें जो soldiers हैं वो जब वॉर वाली जगह पर होते हैं तो वो छुप कर अपने एनिमीज से छुपने के लिए जो अंडरग्राउंड जो हाइडिंग प्लेस बनाते हैं दे आर कॉल्ड ट्रेंचेस. वी वर ऑल स्टैंडिंग टू इन आवर ट्रेंचेस येस्टरडे मॉर्निंग, क्रिसमस मॉर्निंग. सो द डे बिफोर इट वाज क्रिसमस. It was crisp and quite all about, as beautiful a morning as I have ever seen, as cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. So the weather was pleasant, fresh weather tha and everything was quiet. Of course, because it was a war place, so everything was quiet and all the soldiers, the army men were there inside their trenches and it was a beautiful, calm and beautiful Christmas morning. और वो इतनी ठंड बिकॉज इट कम्स इन December 25th, तो वो बहुत ही वहाँ पर ठंडा था, फ्रॉस्टी था. I should like to be able to tell you that we began it. But the truth I am ashamed to say is that Fritz began it. अब यहाँ पर let me, before I proceed further, I'll tell you Fritz here, the word Fritz here is used, and it is for it is a name for a German soldier. Fritz is a common German name for for their soldiers. And there is one more word you'll come to read, Tommy. Tommy is a common English name used here to refer to British soldiers. So students, do remember Fritz for German soldiers and Tommy for British soldiers. So अब वो अपनी वाइफ को बताता है, कॉनी को, कि मुझे अच्छा लगता कि अगर मैं तुमको ये बता सकता that we began it, but unfortunately he was ashamed to tell his wife that it was Fritz who began it. What they began? Let us read. First, someone saw a white flag waving from the trenches opposite. I hope you people know that white color stands for friendship, for peace. तो अब वो कहते हैं कि किसी ने, हमारे यहाँ के जो आर्मी थी उनमें से किसी एक सोल्जर ने सामने जो ट्रेंचेस बने थे हमारे ऑपोजिट, तो वहाँ से एक वाइट फ्लैग जो है वेव करता हुआ देखा. Then they were calling out to us from across no man's land. First of all, tell me what is meant by no man's land. No man's land is an unoccupied area between the front lines of two opposing armies. यानी आमने सामने जब दो opposite armies होती हैं, उसके बीच में जो थोड़ा सा जो एरिया होता है उसको हम no man's land कहते हैं, यानी उस पर किसी का भी जो है ओनरशिप नहीं होती. Then they were calling out to us from across no man's land, Happy Christmas, Tommy. Tommy, as I told you earlier, that Tommy stands for British soldiers. अब जो यानी सामने जो opposing जो आर्मी थी वो जर्मन आर्मी थी. जर्मन आर्मी में से किसी सोल्जर ने वहां से विश किया, हैप्पी क्रिसमस टॉमी, हैप्पी क्रिसमस. When we had got over the surprise, some of us shouted back, same to you Fritz, same to you. अब पहले तो वो बहुत हैरान हो गए, they were baffled, they were bewildered, वो shocked रह गए कि अरे what a surprise, सामने जो हमारे जो enemies हैं they were shouting at us कि happy Christmas. तो अब वो जो हमारी तरफ से भी था, कुछ लोगों ने, कुछ सोल्जर्स ने आगे से रिप्लाई किया, सेम टू यू Fritz, सेम टू यू. आई थॉट दैट इट वुड बी दैट, वी ऑल डिड, बट देन सडनली वन ऑफ देम वाज अप देयर इन हिज ग्रे ग्रेट कोट एंड वेविंग अ वाइट फ्लैग. अब जो था ये जो जिम था, जिम को लगा कि अब बस हो गया, विश हो गया, अब आगे कुछ नहीं. बट देन सडनली टू हिज सरप्राइज वहाँ सामने से एक जो सोल्जर था, ही वॉज वेयरिंग ग्रेट कोट, दैट माइट बी देयर यूनिफॉर्म. तो वो ऊपर खड़ा हुआ, बाहर निकला ट्रेंच में से और उसके हाथ में वाइट फ्लैग था.